All right, welcome to Yin class. My name is Ken, and tonight we'll use a few props as usual. One of them is I have a nice little yoga cushion. You can grab a cushion or a firm pillow, or even like a cushion off your couch. Have a blanket or a towel. We'll use that tonight. And then, I have a strap and a couple of blocks. You may or may not use those, but it's just good to have them around just in case you feel like you need them. Tonight, to begin, the easiest way would be to be in an easy seated position. But I thought maybe we work on our feet a little bit as we do our initial breathing. I'll go sideways just so you can see what I'm doing. But the first thing is we're just going to go with the bottoms or tops of our feet down. So not curled under. That'll be coming up in a little bit. And I think if you can easily sit down on your heels, do that. Otherwise, take the cushion or a blanket and just place that right on top of your calves. And then you sit on that. And usually that's pretty comfortable. This will put a little pressure on the front of your ankle. I'm getting a little cramp there. But that'll put a little pressure on the front of your ankle just to stretch that out nicely. And then if you can, just sit up nice and tall. I'll just stay sideways here so you can just see what I'm doing. So sit up nice and tall. You can fold your hands in lap. Maybe just one hand on top of the other, thumbs touching, thumb tips. Close eyes. And just take a nice, slow, deep breath in, breathing in through your nose if you can. And exhaling out nose or mouth, whatever is the most comfortable for you. And when you need to breathe again, this is just at your own breath pace, it's just another big breath in. Slow breath out. Relaxing the muscles around your eyes. Relax your jaw, separating teeth slightly. Actually feeling for your rib cage to expand on inhale. And relax on exhale. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here. And we'll just make a slight adjustment now. This is going into a bit of broken toe, and if you have arthritis in your joints or this is particularly painful, you don't have to do this. You could even just move into an easy seated position. But if it's okay with you, and I'll lift this up so you can see, you just curl your toes under. And for me, putting a cushion right on top of the calves, the Achilles tendon, the heel, helps a lot. How much weight you put on is how much of a stretch you're getting through the toes. And it could be, if it's like, well, that's way too much, but I want a little bit, you can bring hands down onto the floor and really just kind of gauge how much weight and stretch you want to put into your toes. And when you get into whatever position you'll be in, take 10 slow, deep breaths. Or maybe they're quick pants. But just take 10 breaths here. Just focusing on the sensation of your breath. Best part of broken toe is actually coming out. So let's come on out of that. Curl. Set the cushion off to the side. Come on into a seated position. Work on the right hamstring, and then there'll be a nice little spinal twist here. So just bring your right leg out. And let's bring the left foot to the outside of right leg. Grab left knee. And pull belly and chest towards your thigh. And make this a bit of an active stretch with the right leg. The way you do that is flex right toes towards shin and just press down with right heel. This actually activates the hamstring along that right leg, and as you pull chest forward a bit, you might feel a nice little stretch through the right hamstring. Keeping your breath just slow and even. Let's add a little spinal twist to this. Just hug the left knee in with the right arm. You can grab right hand with, or the right wrist with your left hand. Nice and tall, lifting up through the top of head. And as you pull on the left knee, resist at the same time. You feel it right in the left hip. That's an active stretch, just like we were doing with the hamstring. engaging the muscle as you stretch it. Now unwind from the twist. Switch legs. So left leg, just bring it out. Right foot either to the inside or the outside of left leg. And holding on to the right knee, what this helps with is it helps with collapsing back. You know, it can be a little bit tough on the back. So we're using arms as leverage to get tall and to pull chest forward. Flex left toes towards shin and just press down with left heel. And really the trick here is when you get into the pose, as you take your slow, deep breath, feel. It's like feel what's happening, what is this pose doing? And then there's a bit of a surrender into whatever's happening. Spinal twist. Let's hug the right knee in with left arm. And as you pull, you resist. Active stretch into the right hip. Good. Now release that. And you know, this is just a real short stretch here, but this is just both legs forward. You can lift chest and then just walk hands down legs. I'm going to stay here about 3 breaths or so, just real quick. All right, that was a bit short because we're going to just add a little straddle stretch. So now bring your feet wide, and if you have that cushion, this is actually a really good prop to use here. As you take that cushion, and I'll take it the long way, so that the corners of the cushion are actually pressing against my thighs, and so as I pull them in, it helps to open up the legs and support the legs at the same time. And then with your feet, especially if your feet are falling out to the side, if you can, it's a little bit, you want to get the toes up towards the ceiling a bit. And then you can grab the edge of the cushion. This will give you some leverage too. Now keeping a flatter back versus a curved back. Lift chest. And just see if you can start to tilt forward. And this starts, there's a bit of a hamstring stretch, but it starts to work on the inner part of the leg into the groin. So the inner aspect of the leg as you tip forward. And we can actually enhance this stretch by going a little bit further on each side and then coming back to the center. So just take your right hand behind you and you can grab the cushion with your left hand over towards the left foot. And as you do that, just start to reach chest out over right leg. There'll be a bigger stretch through the inner leg. No need to overdo this, just enough that you can feel. That's all we're looking for. Let's work the other side. So it's not quite a spinal twist. There's a bit of a spinal twist, but that's not really what we're after here. So left hand behind you and your right hand is grabbing the cushion. You can also grab your leg too. And just reaching chest. Again, not rounding, reaching chest out over left leg. And I'm actually pressing the bolster against the leg, which would be equivalent to if I were pushing out. Now back to center. And actually just for 3 more breaths, let's go forward again. See if maybe you can go a little bit further. Maybe forearms on the bolster. Maybe some of you will just actually lay out on your cushion. Rise on up. Set the bolster off to the side. You can bring your legs together and just bend knees. That'll probably feel pretty good. So grab your towel or blanket and we're just going to take that towel and just roll it up. This will be a support for your neck. Just going to roll it up and place it along sideways on your mat. Just a couple of things on the back side here. We want to be comfortable. So you're using that blanket as a bit of a pillow. Feet on the floor with knees up, and actually just bring knees in towards each other. That'll probably feel pretty good after that straddle stretch. Just giving some emphasis tonight on different aspects of the hip. We work in the inner part. So let's just grab right knee. Squeeze right knee in towards chest and lengthen left leg out onto the floor. We're just going to pull that right knee in. And this is as much as we'll do as abdominals. And you just flex left toes towards left shin and maybe lift up that left heel just about 1 inch or 2 off the floor. And as you're doing that, press down with tailbone and pull belly down towards spine. Just engages through midsection, bringing some body awareness right to the middle. And then we'll bring left foot down And let's just grab the right knee and let's make some circles with the right knee, loosening up through the right hip. Circles start out small, and then they just gradually get bigger and bigger and bigger. It may be even that you let go of the knee and use a little more muscle here as you make some circles with the right knee. I'll go in the opposite direction a couple of times. Now grab right knee and let's pull right knee over towards the left shoulder. So it's not a twist. We're just pulling knee across body or upper body towards the left shoulder. Ideally, trying to feel it right into the piriformis area or the outer part of the left hip or right hip. If you're not quite sure what we're after, as you pull the knee in, if you resist a little bit, you can feel, like right down in that hip. You can feel where we're activating and stretching. Now release right leg, straighten right leg out. And you can just notice that there's a difference between right hip and left hip. No problem, we'll fix that. Grab left knee, let's squeeze left knee in towards chest. Yeah, just give yourself a nice squeeze here. Right toes towards right shin. Press down with sacrum. And let's lift that right heel just an inch or two off the floor. Right heel down. We'll make some circles with left knee. Start small. Circles gradually get bigger. Couple in the opposite direction. Couple circles. Take left knee, grab left knee, and let's go over towards right shoulder. And truly, I find if I'm not quite sure what area I'm after, when you're doing a stretch like this, if you pull and resist, you pull with your hands and resist with your knee and leg, you'll feel it, like right down into that left hip. Because it makes sense, as we're going in this direction towards the right shoulder, whatever muscle it would take to go the opposite direction would be the one that we're stretching by pulling towards the right shoulder. All right, now release left knee. Bring feet on the floor. So this will be a bit of a variation, but oftentimes we'll come into Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of feet together with the knees out. Let's do it just a little different tonight. So take your right leg, and we're just going to place the right leg down. Now if the right knee doesn't go all the way down, that's okay. You could even take maybe a block or another blanket and just place under that knee if you wanted to. And then with your left foot, you actually cross ankles. So we're not going sole to sole, you're going to cross ankles. But the right knee is down. So then the left knee is probably going to be a little bit higher off the mat. And that's okay. That's the one that's going to get more of a stretch through that left hip flexor. And actually find the best placement is you don't want to go like, it's not directly ankle bone to ankle bone. It kind of is, but it's really the heel is right along the front of the left heel is right along the front of the inner part of the right ankle, or the top part of the right ankle, if that makes sense. And you can use left hand just to help put a little weight on that left leg and just feel this really nice stretch through that. Not quite the groin, a little bit more hip flexor is what we're after. Let's just give it 2 more breaths here. You can just bring hands to the outer part of the thigh just to help your legs up. And we'll switch. So now, left leg comes down and it's bent. Ankles are crossed. And you just adjust the feet, that right leg or the right ankle area, foot area, to the shin, and just till it feels comfortable. Because if you have bone on bone, that doesn't feel so good. But just try to find a nice little comfortable spot where your hips are intentionally uneven here. And we're just allowing, and that's where the stretch comes from, is you allow both legs to try to relax down. In that unevenness, we're stretching one side just a bit more than the other. Notice where you feel, or notice where something's happening as you breathe. Let's get fascinated on those sensations in your body, creating some space. Relieving tension as you create space in the body. Two more breaths. All right, hands to outer part of the thighs. Let's push those knees together. Feet a little wide, knees coming in towards each other. And just real easy, while we're here, just bring arms out into goalpost arms or cactus arms. Elbows straight out from shoulders, elbows bent 90 degrees. allowing the back of the hands, your forearms, just to work their way down towards the floor. You might even find if you just kind of shift a little bit and squeeze shoulder blades in towards each other. This actually might bring your elbows closer to the floor, but by squeezing shoulder blades towards each other, that's opening up your chest, the front. And then you try to, with your shoulder blades just a little closer towards each other, almost like you're squeezing a pencil between shoulder blades, and then see if you can just relax arms and shoulders. Let's give this another 20 seconds or so. Squeeze arms in towards each other, and grab knees and squeeze knees in towards chest. Now roll over onto right side, or left if there's an injury that you're avoiding. Doesn't matter that much. Pause here. And push up. I'll just take the blanket. We can set it off to the side. Actually, you may need it here, depending on your knees. Let's go to the tabletop. So where you could use this potentially, we'll be doing a few things in this position. So if you need a little extra cushion for the knees, I would use a blanket, or you could just fold your mat. I'll do that. Just add just a little extra cushion for the knees. Just a couple cat-cows, really great for the spine. Inhale, you drop belly. Exhale, round spine towards the ceiling, cat pose. Do this a few times on your own. Good, do one more. Now the plan is to spend a few moments in child's pose, but before we get there, and it won't be a really long child's pose, but probably have about, we'll go 2 minutes when we get there. But let's stretch the shoulders and get a nice little side stretch before we get there. So to stretch the shoulders, bring hands forward and make it a bit of that active stretch where you press down with your fingertips and your palms. And when you do that, you'll feel, right, that you're just activating right through the shoulder up into your lats, or latissimus dorsi, and up into the deltoid area. You know, lots of muscles. So you press down, and as you press down, it's not quite child's pose yet, but you're just bringing hips back, just so that you can feel like it should be a shoulder stretch, and that's what we're after, is just feel a nice little stretch through shoulders as you're pressing down with hands. Good. And so then as you rise up, there's a really nice way to get a side stretch here. So bring hands over to the right. And in particular, the left hand might be a little bit further forward or a little bit further out than the right. You can press down with that left hand, and then as you do that, start to sit back. So bringing your hips towards your heels. And as you do that, this really starts to create just a really wonderful stretch through that left shoulder into the left side, into the left low back, and then hip even. Can you actually feel your left rib cage expanding as you breathe in? All right, belly in to help protect your side as you come on up. That's a big stretch. That could be a tremendous side stretch all the way down to low back and hip. Come back to center into tabletop, and you can just feel how that left side is different than the right. So let's fix that. Let's bring hands over to the right, or to the left. Right hand can just reach a little further forward. And then you start to sit back. Belly in as you rise up. Actually, I've been on our knees for quite a while, so we'll just do child's pose for about 1.5 minutes. So I'll just shorten up a little bit. And you could even use the cushion. Just as a thought, as you just sit back towards heels. You can bring one ear or your forehead down onto the cushion, just draping your arms across the cushion. I'll put on the clock here so I keep track of just 90 seconds. Here we go. And if you have one ear down, halfway through I'll let you know, and we'll just turn the head to get the other side. Let's bring the other ear down. Just stretch the other side of the neck. Ten more seconds. All right, rise on up. If you have that fold in your mat, let's just unfold that. Pretty simple transition here. We'll do a hip stretch, but getting off directly being on the knee. Let's bring right leg forward. We're just going to come on to right hip. Use your mat as a guide so the outer edge of the mat is lined up with your right thigh. Now the right shin, you can see my foot here, you don't want it forward. This puts a lot of torque on the knee. I would say even or even just a little bit in. And in fact, I told you to get rid of the cushion, but it actually comes in handy here. I like to put that cushion, if I have it, just right along the right shin. It's going to give you a little bit of something to grab onto and pull. And then this left leg, it really depends. If you want more of an inner leg stretch, you'll kick the left leg way back, or you can bring that left knee up. Reach chest out over thigh. So it's not, well, I should say out towards your knee, not out over the thigh. So just over towards your knee or even towards shin. You know, that's also appropriate. And we'll just pull forward. And look, if you find a spot here as you come forward where there's some resistance in the hip, it doesn't have to be that intense. It's perfect. Just let that resistance be slight. And just work on it from there. We'll give this another minute and a half or so. Now, if the hip is feeling pretty open here and you find that you need more, you could add a bit of a twist here. As you just turn chest, you twist towards the thigh. Again, not over the thigh, just twist towards the thigh. Just about 2 more breaths. Make it a simple transition. As you come on up, just swing left leg forward, and we'll go right leg back. Just coming onto the left hip. Use the outer edge of your mat to line thigh up with. Left shin, maybe straight across or in, heel in towards this right thigh. And then you decide what feels better with that right leg, back or more forward. Once we get into it, it's about a 2-minute pose is what this is. So here we go. So just pulling out, or reaching chest out over that left knee. Can add a twist. Turning belly button, chest towards left thigh. And even just right here, just draw belly in towards spine, and as you draw your belly in, see what happens. What that does is when you pull your belly in, you're actually pressing your abdominal organs against your side and into hip and towards your low back. And this can really create some interesting pressure. Just to help stretch and focus. 15 more seconds and we're done with this one. So as you rise up, let's swing that right leg forward. And just in an easy seated position, where one ankle, so let's bring the right foot in front of left. So they're not on top of each other, just right leg is in front of left leg. And we'll just take right hand, which is just take right hand out to the side, palm forward. Turn your thumb down. I just really love this as a shoulder stretch. Bring the back of hand against low back. And for this one, just take your left hand and just place it on your right shin. This actually helps you to sit up nice and tall. And then as you're reaching, we're not twisting yet, we're going to add a little twist to it, but just really lift chest, lift up through crown of head. And let's just take, and make this really easy, don't make this hard. So just left ear a bit towards the left shoulder. That'll add some neck stretch. And then as you bring your right hand out, you just take your left hand and just lift your head up a bit. And then we'll just turn into an easy stretch. So right hand on the floor behind you, left hand just reaching out towards that right knee. This is the final little spinal twist here in class. Maybe you notice that hips feel a little more open. Return back to center and just switch legs. So just bring the left leg in front of right. Left arm reaching out, palm forward, and you turn your thumb down. Left hand behind back, so back of hand against low back. Right hand just grabbing the left shin, or maybe by ankle. And a bit of the trick here is as you lift chest, this will create a nice stretch through that left shoulder. No pain though. If this hurts, find a place where you're getting a stretch that feels good but doesn't hurt. You know, maybe just hand is right on the hip. Little neck stretch, just right here down towards right shoulder. I was on a computer most of the day, and this actually feels really, really good. Bring left hand out from behind. Right hand just help head up. Twist towards left knee. Left hand or right hand grabbing the left knee. Long through spine. Just rinse it out. Back to center. And here we are ready, but choose your Shavasana pose for tonight. If you have a wall nearby, one of my favorites is to just bring legs up the wall. Even a cushion underneath hips. That would work. If you don't have a wall handy, that's okay, no problem. Just place a cushion underneath the back of your knees as you lie back. Arms, just like a 45-degree angle out to the side. Some people like to lay like more of a starfish pose, where you reach arms out at an angle, 45-degree angle in a sense, and even like your legs just reaching out, taking up lots of space here. Just enjoy these few moments. To be at peace and relax. Take a deeper breath. Lungs filling, chest expanding, belly rises. Then on exhale, there's just this beautiful relaxation and peace. Do that again. Breath in and out. Now wiggle fingers and toes. Get your arms up and overhead along the floor. Stretching out through right arm and left or right leg. Left arm and left leg. Both arms, both legs, just reaching and extending. Squeeze knees in towards chest. Just roll over onto whatever side feels comfortable for you. Just making a pillow with your arm, your hand. Let's push up into a seated position. Whatever's comfortable, nothing fancy. Just sit up nice and tall. We'll bring arms out to the side, hands out to the side. And as you open up hands, can you feel like the air in the room? Maybe there's a breeze, maybe the air is cool or warm. You just feel your fingertips and your palm. And then as you make an arc and you reach arms up towards the ceiling, you can just feel that air passing between fingers. And in a high prayer position, just fingertips, with hand touching, palms touch. The prayer just moves down your chest, your heart, thumbs right along the sternum. Give yourself a breath of honor, gratitude, appreciate what was done. Replenishing your mind, body, and spirit. Namaste.